Now, top government sources revealing to CNN News 18 that American negotiators for trade are going to be arriving per schedule on 25th August. The negotiations are still not over. India has asserted its stance, saying it will not work on deadline, but in national interest first. Let's just go over to our colleague Pallavi. Pallavi, much to the earlier question we asked you around the larger trade deal and whether or not these statements are affecting them. So we're given to understand from this statement that it's not. In fact, Indian negotiators are doing their best to not let these statements affect the ongoing trade discussions. Is that the correct takeaway?
Absolutely right, Toya, and this is exactly what I said a short while back. The fact that the MEA has come out with a detailed statement in its rebuttal to Donald Trump, and the Commerce Ministry has not, just goes on to reflect the fact that the Commerce Ministry really wants to treat very, very cautiously. They wouldn't want these negotiating talks to be jeopardized. You know, there has been an exposed surplus with America, but it's not a one-way process. If you go by the latest statistics of the Commerce Ministry till June 2025, the trade between India and America stands at around 25.6%. That's the average kind of the percentage of the trade which is taking place of the entire trade of India. So they are quite a big and one of the biggest trading partners of India. And India has a very good market in America as far as pharma products are concerned. Our labor is concerned. Our labor-intensive industries are concerned. But at the same time, it does not mean that we want to bend backwards to try and get a slice of the American market. So if America is expecting that we are going to give complete access to them, especially to contentious products like GM food, which I spoke about, farming products like rice, maize, or corn for that matter extensively, or even labor-intensive industries, that's not going to be happening. So as of now, the negotiating option is not closed down. Those negotiating talks are still on, very much on, and around 25th August is when the American negotiators are expected to land in New Delhi. So as far as the government is concerned, those talks are very much on. But you know, at the end of the day, we also have to flex our muscles. We also have to send out a message, not just to America, but to all our other present and future trading partners, that when India comes on the negotiating table, it comes from a position of strength, national interest first, country first. We are not going to be bending backwards and not going to bargain any such thing which could hurt the interests of the country.
Can you tell our audience, Pallavi, what the existing timelines, deadlines are? There was obviously an early August deadline that was set by the US President. Right now, what has the US President actually said about deadlines, even if India does choose not to abide by them?
See, 1st August is when that tariff policy deadline was to have ended for everyone, not just for India. But we have a leeway of around another week, which is around 8th or 9th of August, and there are logistical reasons. You know, there are custom duties, there are those procedures which have to be kept in mind for the new tariff rates to be applied. Now, with that American president talking about a steeper tariff, will that be just added on? Will it be a wait and watch? So that essentially is the kind of timeline. But the fact that even if it is implemented for argument's sake by 8th or 9th of August, then you have them coming over here around the 25th of August. We've seen the example of other countries where it's been negotiated, renegotiated, the rates have been brought down. But in those countries, what has also happened is that their heads of state or government have called up American president and, you know, asked for a better deal. That hasn't happened from India. And I think the message from our country is very clear. You can't expect our Prime Minister to call up and plead with the American president. The strong words of the MEA are a clear-cut giveaway and a messaging. But as of now, the trade tariff policy, the new one, has not yet been implemented because we have time till the 8th or 9th August. That's on purely technical and logistical grounds.
Okay. Thank you for bringing us that context. Okay, we're going to move on right now. More breaking news coming in. In a related story, let's take a look. What we're bringing you next is a mega exclusive on CNN News 18. Input on a high-stakes oil deal between Pakistan and the US continues to come in. Pakistan recently finalized an oil agreement, remember, with the US, and it has marked a significant realignment in the country's geopolitical strategy, indicating a departure from its traditionally China-adjacent, China-centric approach to regional partnerships. Now, this move, the renewed partnership, is being widely interpreted as a signal to Beijing that strategic access to critical zones such as Gwadar, remember the Gwadar port, is no longer exclusive to China. To understand more around this, to understand its implications, our colleague Siddhant joins us to bring us more context. Siddhant, Pakistan's collaboration with China, is one that dates back more than a decade, back I think in 2013 when the discussion first started. I just want to understand from you, what does the signaling look like right now that we're discussing with our audience? The signaling to the United States, we obviously saw General Asim Munir in the White House, but the larger signaling to China too. What should we take away?
Well, that's right, Toya. And in fact, this is what Manoj Gupta is bringing for us, that this oil deal of Pakistan with USA is kind of a signal which Pakistan is sending to China, that access to strategic zones like Gwadar is no longer exclusive to China. So far, Gwadar is under Chinese control, Toya. Now, Islamabad is pressurizing Beijing to increase its financial and military commitments under CPEC. Now, Pakistan wants more money. So, so it's kind of a message which Pakistan is sending to Beijing that if you want to have exclusive rights over Gwadar, then you need to pump in more money through CPEC project. Now, Pakistan is smartly creating a competitive bidding environment. After this, both US and China are forced to offer economic aid, infrastructure investments, and political support. Allowing US entry in the name of energy, Islamabad will take strategic leverage from both powers. Islamabad will be using China for hard infrastructure and the US for diplomatic shielding, IMF lobbying, and FATF grey list. Trump's announcement of massive oil reserves in Pakistan is a calculated geopolitical narrative. Trump wants strategic access to Balochistan near Gwadar and the Iranian border. He wants for a dual-use access, energy and mineral exploration and intelligence, military logistics deployment. Trump wants to undermine Chinese dominance of Balochistan through CPEC and Gwadar port. This is post-Iraq time projection, where same projections was done by US in 2003. Pakistan's economic desperation makes it vulnerable to such offers. Now, so yeah, it's very important to understand, Pakistan is a vassal state. So, there are years when China uses Pakistan, there are years when United States uses Pakistan. But given after Operation Sindoor, the kind of closeness that has increased between Pakistan and United States. President Trump announced the other day that they are going to develop oil reserves in Pakistan, etc., etc. So Manoj Gupta's report says that it is nothing but a messaging to Beijing that pump in more money through CPEC projects, get more money, build more infrastructure in Pakistan. At the same time, Pakistan wants to balance out between US and China. So for Pakistan uses China for more investments, more infrastructure projects. When it comes to US, they want to use US for more diplomatic shielding. When it comes to shielding terror groups, FATF shielding, UNSC shielding, etc. Now, US interest is Iranian borders, definitely. US also wants access to the Balochistan region. Perhaps Pakistan is telling the story that Balochistan is mineral rich, etc. So that is definitely in interest of the US government. So the US wants forward operating business bases in Balochistan for all-round deployment, intelligence, and strong bases near Iran and Afghanistan. By this deal, US gains the legal access for placing American contractors, engineers, and security consultants in Pakistan's high-risk zone. Balochistan's terrain offers natural surveillance points over Chinese CPEC route. So as we were discussing before, Toya, America believes that Balochistan region of Pakistan is slipping away to China because China has already penetrated deep into that region through CPEC projects, through various other projects. So now America also wants to exploit that project area of Pakistan, Balochistan, and perhaps for the same purpose only America is showing interest in doing business with Pakistan. And what Pakistan is doing is that they are sending the messages to Beijing that, look, if you are not going to pump in more money, then we will fight more with the United States.